Hello, my name's Corrigan Nadon-Nichols and I work for North American Students of Cooperation. This video is part of a series about incorporation for housing co-ops, and the first section will be about what is the difference between a co-op and a corporation. So a cooperative is an association of people united to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs. This could be any kind of needs like affordable housing, healthy food, electricity, healthcare services, beer, agricultural products, dairy processing facilities. Co-ops can meet any sort of needs in a wide variety of areas. A corporation is an association of people that's authorized to act as a single legal entity. So it's a legal entity that's defined by laws. Being a legal entity means that you can enter into financial and legal contracts and take on liability. That's to say the corporation can do that. Corporations are defined in the U.S. according to each state and what requirements you have to meet and how you become a corporation. But overall, it's actually a fairly flexible legal definition. Corporations can be created in different sizes and shapes and forms to meet the needs of the people involved. So a co-op is one type of association of people, a corporation is another, but they're not mutually exclusive. In fact, most co-ops are corporations. Both co-ops and corporations are generally democratically governed. The people that constitute the organization get to vote to decide, make decisions about the organization. Co-ops also and corporations both distribute any surplus money that they accrue in the course of their operations to the members, whether it's the members or the investors. In a corporation, the people are called shareholders generally, and in a co-op, the people who compose the organization are called members. What some of the differences are that corporations typically assign votes based on how much money the shareholder has invested. So if you've invested twice as much money, you get twice as much vote. Whereas in co-ops, they typically have more equal representation, more in line with one person, one vote. Corporations also distribute their surplus on the basis of quantity of investment, whereas co-ops tend to distribute surpluses based on the level of participation or usage of the co-op. How much you've purchased from the co-op or how much you've contributed into the co-op, how much you've worked for the co-op in the case of a worker co-op. Maybe a couple examples would help clarify the differences. So a co-op it's like kind of a Venn diagram. It's an entity that might be a co-op and not a corporation would be a group of people who have no formal legal entity, but they still act together to meet their mutual needs. You might have a group of a dozen people sharing a house, forming a housing co-op, in which they collectively pay for food, they collectively take care of maintenance of the property, they make decisions democratically about who to admit as new members, what policies and rules to follow. That would be an entity that's acting as a co-op, people coming together to meet their mutual needs, but is not formally incorporated, is not recognized as a legal entity by the government. On the flip side, something that would be a corporation but not a co-op, that's a fairly common thing. There's many corporations out there that are not co-ops, from the largest corporations that are well known down to something that might just be a few people who say they wanted to invest in real estate, so they pooled some money together, got different people together, formed a corporation, and that corporation bought some property which they managed or rented out. If you were both a co-op and a corporation, taking, for example, the group of, say, 12 people sharing a house, if they fill out paperwork, submit it to the state, come up with a name for their corporation, define articles of incorporation and their officers, and they submit that paperwork, then they are also a corporation. They are a legal entity, and that legal entity would have whatever rights to the property that they use. The members who are in the co-op would have a legal contract relationship with the corporation, and not just with the group of people. But there's many types of co-ops and many types of corporations, and they come in all different shapes and sizes, but often co-ops choose to act as a corporation, but not always. So that's how that looks. Okay.